Meeting is yours, sir.
All right. All right. This is the April 20th, 2021 meeting of the Coventry Land Trust. The meeting's been posted and we do have a quorum, so we will call it to order here at 6:31 p.m. And we will start with the roll call. So I will call names. Jack Donovan.
Here.
Dennis Green.
Here.
Rory Comedy.
Here.
I'm gonna write these down. Glenn Underwood here. Joshua Clements.
Here.
Linda Brennan.
Here.
And did Joyce Peretta make it in? Nothing on Joyce. Okay, we will have to try and reach out to see what's going on there. Okay, so we do have a quorum. And our first agenda item is an executive session. So we're going to need a motion to be made to go into executive session. And then we'll come back out of that and join that. So first, in open session, we need a motion to go into executive session.
Motion made.
What's that, Ed?
So move.
No, we got to read the actual. Pursuant to Rhode Island General Law 42-46-5, Section A, Section 5, closed pursuant to Rhode Island General Law 42-46-5A5 on discussions or considerations related to the acquisition or lease of real property for the public purposes, specifically for the land trust, to discuss terms and conditions and monetary agreements for the potential acquisitions of the Grassett and McGuire properties. Do I hear that motion?
So move.
All right, it's been made by Rory, seconded by Linda.
Second it.
All right, any discussion? All those in favor of going in executive session per that motion?
Aye.
Roll call.
Aye.
Aye.
I'll do it in roll call so that way we can. Jack Donovan,
Aye.
Dennis Green,
Aye.
Joshua Clements,
Aye.
Linda Brennan,
Aye.
Rory Carmody,
Aye.
and Glenn Underwood, aye. Okay, so we will sign out of this and use the other link to open the executive session. So we'll join there in a second.
Okay.
Made a safe landing. Can anybody hear?
All
me?
right,
there you
made
go.
it. You made re-entry. We went through the dark zone and you made it back. Excellent. Just waiting on Jack and Linda, I think.
Blue.
Notice Mr.
There's
Grass
Jack.
in
Oh,
here
there's Jack.
earlier.
There's Joshua. You got Glenn. Where's Linda?
Right here.
Oh, right there, I see her.
You see her? Okay, you
Yeah.
got her. All right.
She's still connecting though, I think.
She's still dialing. We'll give her a second.
Oh, I think she's in.
Yep.
All right, Linda, you made it with us. Excellent. We're all
Yeah.
back. All right, so the first thing we do is I was the chair, will entertain a motion to return to open session for the Coventry Land Trust.
Motion.
Second,
Motion's made by Jack, seconded by Dennis. Any further discussion? Being none, I'll do a roll call. Motion to return to open session. Jack Donovan,
Aye.
Dennis Green,
yeah,
aye.
I should say.
Joshua Clements,
Aye.
Linda Brennan,
Aye.
Rory Carmody,
Aye.
and Glenn Underwood, aye. The vote is unanimous to return to open session. All right, now I need a motion to seal the minutes of the executive session. Do I hear a motion?
I
Motion.
make that motion.
All right, motion made by Linda,
I'll second.
seconded by Dennis Green. Any further discussion? Roll call on the motion. Jack Donovan,
Aye.
Dennis Green,
Aye,
Joshua Clements,
Aye.
Linda Brennan,
Aye.
Rory Carmody,
Aye.
and Glenn Underwood, aye. So the motion is passed to seal the minutes of the executive session. Okay, now let's return to our agenda. And we got a couple of things to go through. Approval of minutes. The first one were the February 25th, 2021 minutes. Do I have a motion to accept the minutes of the February 25th, 2021 meeting?
I'd like to make that motion.
Motion is made by Dennis. Do I hear a second?
Second. Okay.
Seconded by,
Rosemary, Rory.
okay. Rory's got the second on that one. Any discussion on those minutes? None being heard.
I guess I had one question, and I know I wasn't present for this meeting, but I've reviewed the minutes.
Yep.
Mr. Boxdale to another conservancy. Do we know which conservancy that might be? It might not be relevant to the notes, but just. Okay.
Yeah, he didn't mention any specific
Organization, I believe.
organizations that he could potentially. No. Okay, any other discussion on those minutes? I will do a roll call for approval of those minutes. Jack Donovan,
Aye.
Dennis Green,
Aye,
Joshua Clements. You weren't there, so you can sustain, I guess, since you weren't.
Yeah, I
Linda
was going to
Brennan,
abstain just as I wasn't present at that meeting.
Linda Brennan,
Reviewed it on YouTube.
Aye. Accept.
Rory Carmody,
Aye.
and Glenn Underwood, aye. Okay, the minutes are approved with the one abstention for Joshua not being there. All right, March 16, 2021 open meeting. That was our last meeting there. Do I hear a motion to accept the minutes of the March 16th meeting?
I make the motion.
Motion has been made by
Accept.
I'll second that motion.
Linda, seconded by Josh. Any further discussion on those minutes? All right, roll call on that. Jack Donovan,
Aye.
Dennis Green,
aye,
I didn't hear. Was that?
Joshua cut out there, I think. Joshua,
Oh, yeah, aye. Sorry.
okay, Linda Brennan,
Aye.
Rory Carmody,
Aye.
and Glenn Underwood, aye.
Okay.
Okay, the next is the minutes of the March 16th, 2021 executive session. Do I hear a motion to accept those minutes?
I have only one minor correction. When we have Leah Kavanaugh's name, we got to put an extra E in there. It's Leea.
A spelling, okay.
Yeah, just a spelling, that's all it is.
we will consider that grammatical.
Okay, fine, all right.
So do I hear a motion to accept the minutes?
So move.
All right,
Second.
motion made by, who was that?
Rory.
Rory,
Okay, seconded by who?
Me, Dennis.
Dennis Green. All right. Any further discussion? All those in favor, I will read the roll call. Jack Donovan,
Aye.
Dennis Green,
Aye.
Joshua Clements,
Aye.
Linda Brennan,
aye.
Rory Carmody,
Aye.
and Glenn Underwood. Aye. So the minutes of the executive session have been approved. All right, elections of officers for 2021 is still on our calendar. And the reason why we still have that is because we are have a position open for vice chairman to fill in for the spot that Dennis so well he did and would like to pass on. So that's the open position. Does anyone want to take a stab at it at this meeting?
Can I make a suggestion?
Absolutely.
Josh, I think you should take it.
I second that.
You asked all the right questions. You had me hopping there for a
Appreciate the
while.
nomination.
I was
I will,
hopping everywhere. Where's that piece of paper? Where's this piece of paper?
Yeah.
You asked I think you asked all the right questions. I mean,
No, appreciate that. I guess I will accept
Accept the nomination. Do I-
Yay.
the nomination.
Yay.
Unless
Yay.
Linda or Rory would like to accept. Don't
No,
want to
thank
step
you.
on anyone's toes.
No, I think it's wonderful.
All right. Do I hear a motion to nominate or to elect Joshua Clements for the position of vice chairman?
I make that motion.
Made by Dennis Green. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Jack Donovan, second. Any further discussion? All right, and I will do roll call. For those voting in favor, do I hear Jack Donovan,
Aye.
Dennis Green,
Aye.
Linda Brennan,
Aye.
Rory Carmody,
Aye.
Glenn Underwood, aye. Joshua Clements. Doesn't want to vote for himself. All right, the vote is passed. Joshua is our vice chairman.
Appreciate
Okay.
it. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
Joshua.
you.
And
I'll
certainly-
try to fill
Thank
in Dennis's shoes. It's gonna be
All
hard.
It's a
All
piece
right,
of
going
cake.
on to item 6 on our agenda, 2021 Rhode Island Land Trust Council due status, because we don't have a financial statement. John Studley, do you know whether they, I think you were going to follow up or try and follow up to see whether we had actually paid them?
Oh,
John,
yes. So what had happened was, something in the process broke down, and the dues did not get paid. I don't exactly know how or why, but, I reached out to the Rhode Island Land Trust, Council, and, they were able to provide me with the original invoice. And I just explained, and, they were, very understanding, especially with COVID, crazy
Mhm.
times right now. So what I did was I forwarded that invoice to Carrie in our office, who gets in touch with the finance department, and she pays all of our invoices. So I don't believe the check has been sent yet, but the proper procedure has been followed now, and it is on its way. So I will follow up within the next couple of days and just make sure that the procedure was followed through all the way, and that, the dues are finally paid.
Glenn, could I ask a
Okay.
quick question?
Sure.
Glenn, I don't know if we got, I don't know if we did an operation budget this time around, but Ed, I believe, said there are funds set aside, which would come out of the operating budget for our account. I just want to make sure we don't take it out of the other bucket, which we shouldn't do.
Mhm. Yeah, it will come out of the operations. So.
Okay, fine, all right.
Yeah. And I think what we need to get back at once, I know we've got a new finance director too to work with and to try and get our statements again, so we can watch our balances and stuff and make sure we're doing everything properly. But yeah, so that's where it would come out of our operating budget.
Okay,
All right, next thing on the agenda is Land Trust Conference Review and Discussion. So the Rhode Island, I think this is reference to the Land Trust, the sessions that they were having. Does anyone have any?
Did anyone else attend any of the different
I
sessions?
attended, Josh. I also went.
Yeah, I went to a couple. I thought it was pretty good. I mean, it was my first go around, so I didn't really know what to pick, but some very interesting topics. I don't know how to bring them forward, but
Yeah. Well,
Dennis,
I
any
went,
thoughts from your end? I'll let you
yeah, I
lead
did go,
since
and
you're here.
I got it. I had a little trouble. They had trouble, hooking up as on a short term. But one session I found interesting was the going over the, purchase and sales agreements and understanding what role land trust plays and what role the town in this case would play. And I learned a little bit. I just don't have my notes in front of me, so don't pick my brain because without my notes, I'm lost. But I found it interesting. And I think the two states, Rhode Island and Mass, I think I got the impression that we're going to start being one organization. It's not going to be two separates in the future.
Interesting.
I mean, don't quote me, I just my gut feeling hearing the two chairmen speak.
Okay.
But, if we do it, if they have it next year, I'll go again.
Good. Yeah, anything that we can pick up on. Unfortunately, it always ends up where I can't attend, but I'm glad that we did have members attending their sessions, and it's a good thing, learning experience for us.
Was one thing I would like to mention, I did miss out the handouts. They did offer them, but the ones that they were using to speak with is the ones I wanted. That's where all the meat was. The other was add-ons, but again, it was a good conference.
Yeah,
Excellent.
I've been trying to go back, so they made the recordings available for a period of time. So I've been trying to go
Right.
back and catch a couple of the stray sessions. One of the sessions that I thought was kind of interesting focused on farmland and, allowing access or farmers who have protected their land, allowing access to younger farmers or, different groups that, don't have that capital and don't have that land. So I thought that was interesting. I don't know if that's a topic that would be of value to our land trust, or how much farmland we necessarily protect or preserve, or if there's an opportunity there.
Interesting point. Yeah.
Mhm.
Good. Yeah, that's always a thought process. If we had a piece of property that had an open field or whatever, and making that field be able to be farmed or whatever to put it to use. Interesting.
They did that, I think, down in Narragansett. There's this, I can't remember the name of the place, but there's a place along that's, I think it's Sunrise or Sunset Acres or something like that. They have a working farm, so the farmers are renting it from the town of Narragansett, and it's a Narragansett Land Trust property. And those farmers are actually using the land to farm, but you can also hike there. So my husband and I went there and we hiked the property, but there was a working farm in operation at the time.
Yeah, that's an interesting concept. Great. Next thing on our agenda, unless there's something else for the conferences, is National Trails Day, and I think Rory, you were the one that sent the information on that.
Yes. I saw that I think the Westerly Land Trust was doing that, and just doing a lot of publicity around the land trust itself. And I just wondered if that was something we could do. I should have, I don't know if I can pull up the photo, but I just thought that was something interesting, again, just to get the word out within Coventry about the opportunities here to get out and about.
Yeah. I think, once, and it may be that we're still a little bit green at getting ourselves to a point. I think this and when we discuss our Janice Sullivan property and then the walk that we just did, I think the opportunities, we're getting closer to be actually able to market some of the stuff that we have.
Right.
Then I think doing what they're doing and modeling that, once we have some, we've done a little bit of work, I'd like to see if we had Stella Hall Trail, the Janice Sullivan Trail, along with the Bowden Trails completed. And it's possibly that we get, all three of these up and running this year. We will have something really to put to a brochure.
Right.
So I think that's a good methodology, what you shared with us, shared out with that document, and how National Trails Day is an ideal opportunity for us to not, we can still do our land trust days, but a trails days in June would be really something. So maybe next year, Rory, and if we can assign you the watch on that and the
Sure.
reminder, but that, so once we get these trails completed that we're talking about, and have maps and our GIS and all the pieces together, maybe next year we can partake in that and have a nice event. And we don't have to do a lot of work for it. It'd be more just promoting our trails that we
Yep,
have.
absolutely.
One of the things we can reach out to do is to see if we could get interviewed by the Kent County Times or Coventry Patch, and get some, or even the Coventry Reminder, get something in there. That might help out.
Okay, yeah, that's the local press and stuff, and certainly will help. Yep. Okay, anything else for National Trails Day?
I guess, is there an opportunity, and I haven't been there in a little while, but is there an opportunity maybe with the Whipple property, more centrally located? Are there good trails there to maybe just do a quick loop on, or a cleanup?
I have not.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I haven't been there.
Okay.
I've
That's
been,
Go
I
ahead.
went there when we were taking pictures for signs and so forth. And there is a lot of wetlands. And way back when, remember Russ asked us if we can make a horse trail in there?
Mm,
But looking through the documents, there was nothing on the bid or anything else that you can use horses. Yeah. So that might be an area in the future we probably should take a walk to really understand what's
the
in there.
property. Okay.
Because I haven't walked it 100%. But that's something we should look at. I agree with that.
Mhm. Isn't, I believe the bald eagles started their nests in that area? Isn't that where they originally were located, the bald eagles that are now on Tioga Lake? I remember seeing bald eagles in that area.
Hmm.
So I don't know whether that will impact where we make our trail. We don't want to disturb them if they're nesting there. But it's just something to keep in, I think we definitely should look into it, but that's something we should keep in mind.
Definitely, yeah. Yeah, we want to be very careful when we're making any sort of trail that we're not disturbing anything that we don't, that may be potential wildlife habitat. Yeah. All right, moving on to old business or an ongoing business. Let me just see. I want to jump down, if it's all right with the board, if I could jump to 7.5 just to get the BlackRock, whether there's any update. I know we've got some time on some of these other things, so I just want to move on and just, does anyone have or heard anything on the BlackRock piece?
I thought that was up to us to make contact through either
Yeah,
verbal or through written communications. And
So
I'm sorry, Jack.
So-
did you-
a letter
Yes,
was sent out, and it's been at least over a month now. So there's been no correspondence back. So that's kind of where we're at with that. We don't have a phone number. We can't really go knock on his door. we sent a letter and we haven't heard anything back at that point. So it's kind of up to the members to decide if and how else they would like to pursue getting in contact with them.
Okay. I'm not, we've got so much on our table right now. I don't know whether anyone wants to continue keeping this on the agenda at this point.
Jack, could I ask a question? What do you think?
Well, I think we expressed interest, and I think the silence speaks for itself.
Okay.
Okay.
So Glenn, should we consider maybe taking
Yeah,
this
take
off
it
the
off.
agenda?
My personal, view would be let's remove it now from the agenda, and we can always add it back if they respond back before the next meeting or the following meeting or whatever. But let's not spend time chasing something that they haven't responded to us.
Jack, is that okay with you? We'll take it
Yeah.
off?
Yeah,
Okay. So I'm gonna read it out.
Okay.
It's a gone.
Sounds good.
Okay.
I guess on that topic though, Mr. Studley had kind of referenced it. What is the methodology to start the process with the property owner if we express interest, right? In this case, was it the land trust that had interest, or was it the property owner? I don't recall now.
Jack, do you want to talk that area?
neither. It was brought to me by a member of the town
Okay.
that they had interest, their family was in the neighborhood, and wanted me to, at least bring it forward. So I was an instrument of that.
Okay. All right. So we don't need to continue on that, at least for now. So we'll just take that off. Let's go to the other things. And again, I'm going to jump a little bit out of order here just because of a couple of things that I want to update. So the Grasset property on Mumford Street, potential acquisition. I'd like to entertain a motion that we seek an executive session with the town council to present the possibility of acquiring the Grasset property.
I make
Put
that
into
motion.
motion. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Linda.
Okay,
All right, motion has been made by Linda. Do I hear a second?
I'll second that.
Okay. Any further discussion?
Yes, what documents do you think we might want Glenn to present or give to Russell for him to review? Or
So I think the property maps of the, obviously the maps of the area, aerial map
So if
of the,
so the write-up that I have, I just put the maps to it from the GIS system. That should be okay, you think?
yeah. So if we have the aerial, the map, and the write-up.
And your scoring sheet. I think your scoring sheet has a lot of good information. on it
Well,
about
the
how you
scoring
own it.
sheet is what I use to do the write-off to the side.
Right. But I think it'd be interesting for the town council to see that, to see how we come up with a value
That's
of a
what we're going to,
project.
that's what we'll present. I
Yep.
take the scoring sheet and off to the side, I expanded it on Word, and I
Yep.
fill in that side with, simple one-line comments of why we think it's important based on that line item score.
Yep.
Is what we've done in the past. Should we consider that same approach, Glenn, or?
Yes, I think that
Okay.
presentation, I mean, I think a lot of it will be that they're gonna wanna know the area and how it fits into, so that, where it is, because some members of the council might not have too much of an idea because it's sort of hidden behind stuff, but
Yeah.
so, yeah, I think an overview of the property, we can present to them.
Now, when we did this the first time, Caroline was there and Brian was there, so they took a quick peek. So should I just give this to Russell or should I even
Well-
be doing it at this point? Should
Well,
this,
John Studley, could you what we need to do is brief Russell on this and presentation, and I will send Russell an email tomorrow. Dennis, if you've got the package of paperwork anyways that we presented the last time, so just, you know, adopt it with the maps and stuff, and then we can talk with Russell and see if there's anything else that, you know, he wants to have available. So I'll have a conversation with him. Dennis, you prep your paperwork.
And so I won't do anything till I hear from you.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, so there's
The other good thing to maybe, I'm sorry, I was gonna say, the other good thing to maybe bring is, you know, is there a vision or a plan for what we want to do with this property? Or it's just, right now, just at least obtain it and then talk trails or any other development later?
Well, in the write-up, we give a brief description off the scoring sheet. You know, there, you know, like public access and so forth, what's the benefit of doing that? It's just, it's not a complete, you know, master plan, so to speak. It's just a general one-liners. You know,
And there are trails that are almost ready-made for us.
I forgot about
Okay.
that, Jack, you're right. Yeah,
okay. So right now we've had a motion made to present this property to the town council in an executive session to discuss the potential acquisition. It's been seconded and we've had some discussion. Is there any further discussion? All right, I'll call roll call on the motion. Jack Donovan,
Aye.
Dennis Green,
aye,
Joshua Clements,
Aye.
Linda Brennan,
Aye.
Rory Carmody,
Aye.
Glenn Underwood. Aye. So it's voted unanimously. Okay, next thing I want to jump to is McGuire property, potential acquisition at 7.3 on our agenda there. And I will continue reaching out to Mr. McGuire and see if there's any further discussion or possibilities on his property. So we will keep an open dialogue at this point. And we'll keep that on our agenda for the next meeting. Does anyone else have any comments for that? All
sounds
right.
like a plan.
Okay, so let's move on to the Leah Kavanaugh property and discuss our scoring sheets. Linda and Joshua, you were able to walk the property?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, so we now have all walked the property. It's time to go over our scoring sheets to make sure. So this is the potential acquisition of development rights. And our next step here was to make sure that it's scored as something that we wanted to
I'm
preserve.
gonna
And-
run upstairs for a minute. I forgot my phone, but keep going, please.
So the process here, everyone should have the scoring sheet and we'll work as a group. And then generally we have some discussion and we try and, you know, come to a common consensus as for what we feel the property valuation or points that we're going to assign. And some of them are basic standard answers that you are objective. And then we have some subjective things here that we work together on. So the first thing is the size of parcel that we're looking to preserve. And this property is in the central Coventry district. And if,
Central Coventry, okay.
yeah, that'd be central Coventry. Jack,
That was a question I had just in evaluating the different regions. What's the cutoff line?
well,
Western versus central?
and I'll see if everyone agrees. I've always said the central Coventry line is at the bottom and almost right where Ledge Road is going up the what do we call that, Jack? Windsor Hill?
On the left.
Yeah. So right there is, and it sort of lines up with the Western Coventry Fire District line as being all of Western Coventry, and then central being down towards, taken from there towards, I guess you would say, the schools or the town hall, and then anything east of the town hall would probably be eastern Coventry. That's my general. I don't think we have actual lineage drawn, but I think
Okay.
that's our general consensus.
I thought it was like Hill Farm Road, that the old Pete's Pizza was the line, but that makes sense.
Yeah, that's getting it. That's in central,
That's
definitely
central, okay.
there, and the size of the town. I mean, we could actually take a town map and slice it into 3 pieces, I guess, and then draw the line. So to be more scientific about it.
Okay.
But so for this purpose, if everyone agrees that this would be central Coventry, we're looking at preserving approximately 25 acres of land, and maybe a little bit less, depending upon where the actual lines are drawn for development. So we assign at 1 point. Is everyone agreeing on that?
That's
I
correct.
agree.
Okay. Groundwater protection. So this is one of the ones that does it have little or low impact? Is it a recharge area? Is it near a wellhead protection area or within a wellhead? And wellheads are public water sources. So does anyone have any thoughts on what they would score it?
Based on,
Yeah, there's one.
I'm sorry,
I'll say
Go
I
ahead.
scored it as a 1. It's
One.
just in a
I
GA.
agree.
It's not near any wellhead protection areas.
that's the map that Brian gave us, and basically we fall in that one category.
Okay, I agree. 1
Yeah.
point. Proximity to other protected lands, greenways, water, or waterways. So we know it's abutting.
I said
Yeah.
3, yeah,
Yes.
I had 3
I
down.
gave it
Three.
a,
Yeah.
I gave it a 3.
Easy
Yeah.
enough.
Three, yep. Ecologically significant habitat.
Not a prime habitat, to
I
tell you.
thought so too. I gave it a 3.
Jack?
There's,
Yeah, I guess you could do a 3, but I gave it a 2. But it doesn't mean that I'm right, you know what I'm saying, in this case, because habitat can come in anytime and start over again, but
Right,
well, she took us around, she showed us vernal pools, which are a significant
did?
habitat, yes. And she
Oh.
also talked about there being bobcats on the property and things like that. So I thought it was fairly significant. I mean, bobcats are, their existence are anecdotal, but I saw the vernal pools and heard the frogs and, so.
All right, I'm with Dennis, but I could be
I
converted
could
to
go
a
3
3.
too.
All right,
I was a little torn because I looked at the scoring criteria, right? And it talks about degraded habitat as being, disturbed by human influence. So it is an old quarry, but obviously, 60 plus years removed. So I guess I wouldn't put it as a 3 like prime habitat just because it's not, primary forest, but that's kind of my thoughts, like a 2.
okay. Jack?
2,
2.
2, yeah.
All right, so we got four members with 2s and 2 members with 3s, because I was also on the above average 2. I don't think it's prime, but
We'll give it 2.5. No,
I agree
Well,
with
I
Linda,
think
though.
we-
It does have some nice vernal pools on it. So
Yeah.
it is
Yeah,
certainly worth
I was-
preserving.
that's a good thing. I'm surprised about that.
well, I think we're going to get enough points anyway. So if we go with a lower and be a little conservative, that way, if someone says what's prime about it, we don't have to. We know it's definitely good, but I don't know whether you could say prime. So why don't we be conservative, at least for this one, and just go with a 2, and I think we won't have an issue making points here.
okay.
Ah, so 2 is it.
Okay,
Supports or is capable of supporting rare or endangered species.
I think it's capable of.
I had a 2, yeah.
Yeah,
I
And-
also did it too.
So
Okay,
I think where we're hung up or where we're stuck here, right? It's either some evidence of them
Or no
on the
evidence.
property, which I think there is some
Some,
evidence,
yes.
right? Pileated woodpeckers,
yes, yeah,
and whatnot, versus documented proof. So after I walk, I had emailed the owner and said, hey, do you have any pictures of rare or endangered species? And she didn't have necessarily proof, but I think there is, in the word of the scoring sheet here, some evidence of rare / endangered species.
Yeah.
So
Okay,
two.
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 Yep.
All right,
And
so I agree with
just
that.
just to bring up something else she told us, is that there's 3 acres of a garden that was created by the landowner before her, who collected rare and unusual plants and planted this 3-acre garden with them. So that exists within the property.
Okay. All right, well, that moves on to the next one, farmland preservation.
I had a 1. Just because I knew that she had some area
Okay.
developed there as a farm, but I didn't think it was active.
Yeah,
Right.
we don't know the cutout of what what she's willing to preserve.
Right.
Not be. So I almost gave it a 0 because the rest of,
Oh,
because
okay.
I don't think it's
Not a
farm,
farm.
It's not a farm, okay.
so 0
Well,
point.
I recall the day that we went on our walk,
Okay,
they had their smoker going on a hog that they had just dressed recently, so.
And they were planning to do some farming, right? Didn't she want to keep a tract open for farming?
Yes,
Well, and she showed us her baby goat when we arrived.
Yeah, I
mean,
guess.
she has some farming operations going on there, chickens, whatnot. So I put it
all
as
right.
an active farm less than 10 acres. And I guess
Okay.
that, that's a later question of how much land she wants cut out in terms to do
Yeah.
farming, right?
I think she wanted to be able to build a barn and do what she wanted to do on her own portion. So that's one of the things, we don't have the exact lines drawn yet. So that's why I don't really think it's like a dairy farm or an open fields and stuff that's being actively farmed. We know she's got activities on the property.
Right.
I don't know if you just carve a line around her house, and that's pretty much was the extent of where most of the
Farm is.
farm.
Okay.
Mhm.
I think it's the other question too of, right, what is a farm, right? Is
Right,
chickens in your backyard a farm, or is it
Right.
just chickens in your backyard?
So that's why I went with 0. I don't think it's gonna, we'll still make our points here, I believe.
Okay.
Potential to offset impact of development.
I had a 1.
I
Yeah.
gave it 3 because she said that she thought there would be good houses built, but
But
Yeah.
how many, isn't there a minimum acre required?
Right.
Yeah,
Yes.
So
right.
that's why I
Okay.
wasn't sure. I
I
thought
think it's
it might
1
be.
based on the zoning.
okay,
Right,
Yep.
based on the zoning, you show it's a 1.
The 1?
yeah. So there's, if one
It's a
point,
1, yeah. I'm sorry, yeah.
it's a 1,
One-
yeah.
1 to 10 houses would be prevented. Correct.
That's based on zoning, Linda.
Zoning.
Yep.
Yep.
okay,
Okay,
okay.
Protect rural character.
Yes,
I had a
3.
3.
I
Yeah.
put a 3.
I put a 3. Anyone disagree with 3?
Nope.
Oh. Provides open space, opportunity in densely populated area.
No,
No.
So we're gonna put a 0 or a 1.
Really, if it's central, maybe central coverage, maybe we can say that's more dense than western and do a 1.
Yeah, but since it's development rights, it's not open
Oh, okay.
space opportunity. I don't know what, opportunity means. It doesn't mean for activities for other people.
Okay.
right,
Yeah, that was the same question I had, right? It's development rights. Does that allow people to hike on it or
No.
actually use it versus just preserve it?
No, so that would be a 0.
I got 0.
Historic value.
I had high. I had 3.
Yeah, me too with the park.
yeah,
The quarry and then
Right.
the stone house.
Yeah.
oh, yeah,
Scenic value,
Yeah, and
I
I think the
agree.
historic value, the same, the garden that Linda had mentioned.
Mhm.
And she had mentioned another story, and I don't know how we could go about verifying or checking on this, that, some of the stone from that quarry was used in the building of, I'll say Garden City, but not Garden City, the other kind of historic development there.
Boy, what,
Prison.
prison there for bad boys.
Yep,
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah,
Saconaset.
Saconaset, yeah.
Saconaset, there you go.
yeah.
So again, I don't know if that's verifiable, but it ties into historical for sure.
mhm,
What do we
Scenic-
choose? High?
I
Aye.
agree.
That's right.
Three.
Okay, I agree.
Mhm.
I kind of
Scenic
just put it
value?
as a 2.
what's that?
I put it as a 2 for scenic.
Okay, scenic value, Joshua's got a 2,
I put a 3, but that doesn't mean anything.
I had a 3.
I put a 2, but, yeah, I'd be willing to be convinced to a 3.
I like 2, I like, it's good, but I don't think it's high. I do like
Alright.
2.
2 it is.
Two.
Yeah, it was kind of average forest. It's more, the interest is the kind of historic features, not the scenic beauty of it. I mean, I
Right.
like an old quarry.
Yeah.
All right, provides accessible public passive recreational opportunities. It really doesn't because
No,
development rights 0.
Right.
Consistent with Coventry Land Trust bylaws. I gave
I
it a
didn't-
3.
you gave it a 3.
A 3?
I
All
didn't
right.
know how to rate that, so I didn't give it a
Well,
rating.
by the bylaws, you could say a 3. Comprehensive plan. If you want to stretch it, you could also say that's a 3.
Yeah, I went with 3 with the bottom 2 there
Yep,
because
I just do.
Okay,
it ties a big block of land
Yeah.
together. So that's
Yep.
why it's
Mm.
on both. All right,
Okay.
so I'll tally, you can tally up your sheets and see what you come up with now.
How about the comp plan?
3.
That's a 3.
A 3,
Three.
okay.
October 20.
I've got 24.
24.
24, yeah.
I came up with 25 unless I counted wrong.
I was gonna say I had 29, but I'm sure I just was a little high on a couple of the.
All right, so going down columns, I had 1.1322013032033 for 24.
I must have counted wrong because I got the same numbers.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can't add, what can I say?
Well, the bigger thing is we're all over the 20-point mark, so it does rate for preservation according to our guidelines here.
Good.
So the next thing that we said, if, after scoring, because we're not familiar with development rights, we would need appraisal to come up with 3 estimates of what the development rights would be valued at or potential cost. So I think the action here would be for John to reach out with Russell and say that we're interested in having the development rights appraised and working on funding for those appraisals, because that's truly the next step for us to start to get into negotiations.
Are you there?
John?
John? Oh,
Yeah.
he's there.
So, I already have a letter drafted up in anticipation of this, so I'll be able to send that out to 3 different people, and we'll get their fees and their associated
Mhm.
costs, and also what they'll be offering as part of this package. I know some might just offer a quick little 1-page summary. I know in the past we've done with the Heritage Estates, they offered a giant binder full of stuff. So I'll reach out to different people and see what their fee is and what they're offering, and then we can go from there.
Okay, perfect. All right, so that covers Leah Kavanaugh's property. Is there any other discussion tonight on that we need to do?
I have one question. Should you be before the town council in executive session and they ask you what's the highest you've ever scored on a given property, do you have an answer?
No.
So they would not have a means of judging the score relative to other properties.
Other than that, we can say that it we have to rank these and get at least a 20 for it to be of value to the town.
Okay, I was just anticipating what, a new council person may or may not, be interested in asking.
Yeah, and that's a good point, Jack. I mean, that's,
Well, if we should have a scoring sheet for Heritage Estates, could we possibly use that? If I understand the question right.
It's,
I think-
it's a data point.
I think it's
mean-
good that we mark our numbers and say that this property scored a 24 out of 40 points available. And when you say that, oh, that sounds low, but actually anything over 20. So there'd have to be, some education to a council member for actually seeing the sheet and how this property, ranked and why we were ranking it in that format. So it's something that we should probably prep ourselves better with for a presentation. And that's why I like to do it as a group here. So we sort of consistently saying, this is what we came up as, our standard.
Yeah.
So, but good point, Jack. I think we do need to keep a reference and maybe start a grid of these scores going forward with the various properties that we've walked, and just have a database of these things. So, we've walked quite a few and we've ranked quite a few. So that's a good point that we should build that structure, and we can see if we can dig it out of the old minutes there, and going forward, we can definitely do that. All right.
So that is not something we currently have, like a listing of the properties we currently protect and what they scored in the sheet.
We've walked a lot of properties that we haven't acquired, but we
Sure.
walked them and we did rankings on. So I think it would be more important, just not only the ones that we did acquire, because really our group has only walked 2, which is Forest Ridge and the Heritage are the 2 that we've actually acquired since my term, at least. But we've walked several others that we haven't. That would be interesting to keep those numbers in a database someplace, what our, consensus score was, and put the date that we actually, walked it. That would be
Yeah, a good point to show the ones not preserved as well as the ones
Right.
preserved. Huh?
okay.
Different question. You talk about going before the town council. Has the land trust been before this new council at all yet?
No,
No. Good to
Nope.
anticipate questions.
always ask. Keeps us on our toes.
Mhm. Okay, any other discussion on that? All right, so let's go, 2 things here left on, or a couple things left on the agenda, but really most of it is to deal with Heritage, or soon to be named Janice Sullivan Conservation Area, and that's why I want to keep on saying that. And we know we scheduled our land trust days for Saturday, September 18th, 2021. I think we are, after our walk that we did the on Sunday. I think we're in good shape to continue. I think the COVID situation may be well enough in hand that we can continue our event that we're planning with proper protocols that are going on at that point. So the couple of things that I wanted to go over is our walk that we did the other day to get that onto the record. So on Sunday, April 18th, we met and we walked the property. And just for an update, I did go to the other side with my GPS and the town GIS map, and I did find survey tape on a tree showing us the line of that property and the intersection of Ledge Road. And it's if you remember the iron stake that was on the west side of Ledge Road that we put some survey tape on, that's actually the corner of the Bowden property in Ledge Road,
Right.
about 75 feet, maybe 100 feet further south on Ledge Road, heading down towards the old stone house. On the right, what would be the east side of Ledge Road, the heritage side, I found the tree with a survey tape on it that matches up where that corner would be. So then I walked the line, and where we marked our trail, we actually were right a little bit onto that Audubon block of land by a little tiny bit, not by much. We were pretty good. So when we go back out there, again, we're going to have to move our tape a little bit to move it
What to the logging road part?
more to the west. And
Okay,
yeah, we got to move. So we can't cut quite south early enough. As early as we did, we got to go a little bit to the west and then go south. So it's what we were about 100 feet. And there should be one corner marker, and that's where we really need that deed to that property to see what they.
I have the deed.
Okay, so you've got, so that's good.
I got the deed for Heritage Estates.
That's the one that we need for that lot. So there should be three deeds because there's 3 lots, but
I have the rock deed. I have, which all 3 of those, I don't have the Audubon, I don't think, but I do have lot 70. I have the deed for that,
mhm.
and I should have the deed for Heritage Estate.
Okay. That's if you can share those with me, Dennis, then I'd like to see what they're using for their corner points, because I found what we would normally call a stake and a stone location that they used in the earlier days in the 1800s. I found one of those locations which matches up with one of the lines, but I just want to see what it calls for on the deed for corners. So that's the good news is our hike, I think, and I appreciate everybody's, we had a really good day. I think we accomplished a lot, but we just need to go back one more time and do a little bit of marking to move that trail just a tiny bit where we want to do it.
And I also have the Heritage Estate overall plan by
Mhm.
the pre-engineering.
Yep.
That gives all the footage and so forth from one point to the other.
Yeah, so what I want to do with you, Dennis, is we'll take those pieces of that information and just see if we can find those corners. Now that I know where one corner is with the survey tape.
All right.
And that way we can move our trail over so that we can get our group together and just move our trail over a tiny bit so we don't cut across the Audubon. We only, like I said, we only cut across it by a little bit. So that way we can actually start doing
When do you want me to get with you, or how we want to do this?
I'll reach out to you, Dennis.
All right.
And we'll set that up. And then we'll set up another walk with the group to actually start some trail construction and also moving that upper or the southern end over some. So any further discussion on what we need in our tasks now on where we're going to go from here on that trail construction, and parking, I guess, is the other area.
Okay.
Well, if the town can do the parking, that's a piece of, that would be great. I was thinking about it today. I'll call it the step process where the erosion is coming down the hill.
Oh, yeah.
That could end up being an A item if we're not careful.
hmm
I
So
see a
it could
lot
be
of
cut-
time, a lot of material. And how you plan on keeping that, if you do a log, I mean, what's the circumference that you want for the log, you know what I'm saying? You know, like a foot around. I'm
Well,
not sure how-
usually they're what, about 8 inches is a step?
Right, about 7.5, all right, 8 inches will work, yeah.
Yeah. So we'd have to find enough material around of pieces of stuff and things. So I think what we'll do, and I'm open to suggestions on that, is our next thing, we need to trim some brush. We talked about pick up the trash, mark out what we think we can, have the town do the same thing as what we did over on Ledge Road. If we can, we'll have to reach out to Public Works and see if they can support that. And start there, at least, so that way we're not parking in front of the houses, if we can clean up that.
Right.
Can we break it down a little bit more detail? I don't have my calendar. When do we want to cut up those trees? That sounds like a piece of cake. We could do that in 4 or 5 hours, I think.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
So cut down the down trees would be, I'm trying to take the simplest stuff first, get it out of the way, unless we have a different approach.
No, I think that's the approach
Then-
is, that little area, cutting the trees and picking up the trash and then just marking what we want done so we can,
Can you, if you brought your tractor like we did at Bolton property, we can get rid of all those tires, some other.
we can bring them up to the edge, yeah.
And load on that, and then put it where we think we want the town to pick up, like we did with the Bolton
Yep.
property.
Yep.
So if we split duties,
Yeah, we can
you
all work
almost
together.
do two
something.
things in the same day.
Yeah.
Then after
Um,
that,
My availability
I have my
is
calendar.
for another work session. If everyone wants to look at a calendar, April Sunday worked well for me at 10 o'clock. I could do next Sunday, April 25th. If the weather, well, it's supposed to rain, I think, right now next Sunday, but it's early.
So you're saying Sunday, the 25th?
Yeah, or the following Sunday in May there, the first Sunday in May,
Second.
May
The
2nd.
second, yeah,
We're saying May 2nd?
yeah. I am free the 25th. I may or may not be on May 2nd. There may be a family gathering for me on May 2nd, but I am free the 25th.
I have to be free both weekends, so I'll go with the majority.
Okay, I'm leaning towards the second.
The 2nd, okay.
I'm available either weekend.
Was that?
Either weekend's fine.
Okay, so
Why don't
I'm
we
the
go-
same boat with you.
When's
Yeah.
Mother's Day?
Mother's Day would be the 9th.
So. So the 25th or the 2nd should work.
All right, let's do the 2nd. I think with the rain forecast for this Sunday right now, I mean, it's only Tuesday, but that will give me time to get the tractor and everything ready to go. So
10
Let's-
a.m.
10 a.m.
Okay, and if I may or may not be able to be there, but if I can, I will certainly be there.
Okay, that's perfect.
All right, so we're gonna cut the trees down into reasonable pieces. And then we're gonna use the tractor to pick all the tires up, all the piping in that general area. If
Yeah.
we do that, then that cleans that area out.
And the
Yeah.
other part of the task is to walk the trail on the far end again and mark it over and put it onto the
On the Ledge Road side.
Ledge Road side. And you and I will have already gone with those deeds and stuff and see if we can actually put some more markers on our boundaries from those deeds, and that way we will know for sure that we're good to go. And at that point, we can just finish up marking it. Like I say, it's only a short section. It's not a lot of, and it's going to be pretty easy to do. So if we get those tasks done and start working on, somebody could be up there, up back there, working on that, completing the trail pieces up there, marking it, and even trimming some of the, there was like low brush, there wasn't trees that we had to cut down or anything. It's just like the brush, brush saw or whatever, just to cut along the ground there and build our trail. So we can have a couple people working on that. And so I think that's good for May 2nd. So the task
Sounds good.
will be cleanup and
Cut the tree.
prepping the parking area.
Okay,
And then we can measure up how much material we'll need for the one section where it's the soft potential washout, and how many pieces of timber or logs or whatever, and how many steps we're going to have to sort of construct it.
right. I counted in my head 5, but
Yeah,
with a
that's-
stretch. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we'll see what that looks like. Yeah. Okay.
Do we have like an outreach letter for the community? Maybe worth engaging a couple people. I know the people at the end of the road seem pretty enthused with the idea.
Yeah, I was gonna, after, and last meeting, my task was to do an outreach letter, and then I was sort of excited with our greetings that we are the local right there on both sides. We're very happy.
Mhm.
So that gave me a thought process of saying a little bit different, since it seems like we have immediate support, and they were very happy that we're not putting a house there.
Yeah.
Of taking a few pictures of what we have going for a trail, just showing them an overall outline of our project, and that way they can have a sort of like a drawn up little piece of paper that shows this is the trail we're looking to build. This is the parking, because the one guy had a little bit of concern. He doesn't want to have pavement because of his septic system, which we're not going to do anyways, and we're not going to be anywhere near his septic system.
Yep.
So if we did, the stuff that was clicking in my head after talking to him was that it'd be nice if we had a little diagram of what exactly this is going to look like,
Right.
with a couple of pictures, that we're not looking to build anything monstrous or anything. So a picture to me is worth 100 words, because when you try and explain to them, they might envision something else. So,
I ain't making a joke, Lynn. That's supposed to be 1,000.
oh, okay. 1,000. Yeah, I only made it 100. So anyway, so my thought process went to that. So when we go on May 2nd, if we task ourselves with taking a few pictures of the trail area and the work that we're doing, and then we take a picture and add Rory's the signage that we're looking to put at the beginning there, and sort of just put together a little map of what, so they don't see that it's something huge. This is pretty minor as for what we're doing. So I think that will go better with just a couple of basic, wordings from here. The Coventry Land Trust is looking to construct this trail. This is our proposal. This is the work that we're doing here.
I wonder if we could post, like, I sent Russ and you guys that photo from Sunday. If we could post it on the town's Facebook page closer to the May 2nd, and say, invite people to come join us that day with some information. And then even if if the Facebook page would put the link to the YouTube video we did of the drone over Bowdoin. So
Bowdoin,
people
yeah.
would put it together. Maybe if we can get that out in social media. I can put it on my Facebook page, other people can, and maybe that will get some people there just to take a look.
That's a good idea.
The one thing that we do need to consider, and I see on our thing, was safety waivers for the April 18th cleanup day, which obviously we didn't really need because we weren't doing any, we were just traipsing across. We didn't get into the activities of cutting stuff and all that. This is where if we have people showing up that aren't, we're covered because we're town sanctioned
Right.
members, trying to get the safety waivers and also, monitoring and controlling, or not controlling, but monitoring, it can get a little bit unwieldy as, so I don't know whether we're ready for that.
Yep.
Volunteer management can be challenged, but yeah.
That's
Yeah.
true. Yeah, I think it might be better for this time to just keep it to our group and maybe a few of our personal helpers.
Your husband.
Yes.
Bob's coming.
Yeah. So let's go low key, and then we can go bigger key. If we actually need to, like when we build those steps or thank you ma'ams or whatever we're going to call them to keep the water runoff from not washing out the trail there, just putting down those pieces of logs or whatever, that may be a situation that a couple of people could help on that. So let's hold off for this meeting, but maybe the next one we may definitely need some assistance on that.
That's
Okay.
something, and I apologize, right, to loop back to that land trust days that we talked about earlier, right? That can also be like a trail work day or cleanup. Doesn't necessarily need to be a hike day. So that opportunity still exists to make that a volunteer day or something to come and improve this particular trail.
I
You
have
could
to
also-
admit, I don't think I will be there because we have a trip booked to Italy for that time.
Oh, nice.
We'll see whether that happens or not.
Okay.
Why don't we invite the town council people from that area anyway to May 2nd, just so they can be
Mhm.
aware of it.
What date again?
Okay.
Oh, May 2nd, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
May
invite
2nd.
them to the cleanup too. So I mean, they can always use that to their benefit too, but it would just be nice to have them on board to see what it is, what we're talking about.
Mhm.
I really don't know who the people are for that area.
I don't either. I've got, I'm in one,
I
so
think it
I'm
would
not
be
sure what
Ann
this
for
said.
District
That
1.
would be Ian.
Would it be in? All right, yeah.
Oh, it would be still in?
Okay,
think so.
I didn't realize that was District 1 still.
I didn't, oh,
Mm.
okay.
Yeah, that's got to be close to the line, Jack, right?
Oh,
I don't know.
And it
Is
might
that-
be Sherry
No, I think it
Roberts
goes
in
all
that
the way up
area.
to
and-
Johnson's Pond, western end.
that would be District 5 then, right? It butts up against
I'm
District
thinking
1.
the west side of Johnson's Pond, kind of the Hill Farm side.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that maybe, again, maybe not for this meeting, the May 2nd one. Maybe the next one would be the opportunity for the council person. So they can get,
Yeah, let's get our feet wet a little bit on
Yeah.
this new
Mhm.
area. Then when you bring them in, we can do a lot of, show and tell, as we used to
Right.
say.
we'll have something to
Right.
show.
Yeah.
Okay.
If
All
you
right.
don't have to sweat, they might like it more.
Would get in trouble if we lost someone out there, huh?
Yeah, that wouldn't be good.
We don't want to get lost in the woods with the council person, you're saying?
So with that, let's move up to the last portion of what we need to do. Obviously, the Land Trust Days event is September 18th. The name change and the resolution, we can schedule that to be at a council meeting just prior to the Land Trust Days event. And I think that's just going to be making sure our council, is informed, and then they can announce the date. So we'll want to have that, just timing of that just right for the council. And then at the council, after the meeting, after they approve the name change or approve the naming of it, then they can announce that the event will be on September 18th, which will be the official dedication. I'll copy the same press release as what we use for Bowden, except for just changing the facts of the property. So I've got that in our files. Sign update and funding approval. So we have a sign design. And what do we need to do to start moving this, because now it's April, so we really need to
Mhm.
start construction and putting this together.
Can I ask one quick question?
Yep.
Okay, do you have a completion date for this sign from,
I told him it needed to be ready by August. Thinking
By
that would
August?
probably have to be in the ground before September, yeah.
okay, so we had no trouble with that?
He had no trouble with that, no.
Is he doing this for us? A freebie?
He's donating his time and labor, yes.
Oh, he is?
You know, we just gotta
Oh.
buy all.
We gotta buy this stuff. His kids went to Weston Coventry too, you know, and he loved Mrs. Sullivan, so he was happy to do it.
All right, so we have to give him funds to buy material?
Correct.
Or buy the material that he needs.
Mhm.
So I guess the question is, can he, and I know right now as materials have gone up substantially in the,
Unbelievable,
Yeah.
yep.
They're
And he-
skyrocketing.
can he get, the ballpark number of all this material stuff? Obviously, we'll have to have the slips and papers. I just wanna,
Sure.
I don't think it'll be an issue of, we have money in our budget, and
Right.
I think this is important. So if we can have him work on the list of materials and supplies, and even if he goes online, just so we're not shocked at the dollars, but we probably will be shocked at things that have gone up so much. But
Yeah. Okay, I will
So
do that.
if
I
I-
will see him this weekend.
So we're gonna make a material list and we're gonna end up putting the cost factors in there. For
Yep,
each line item.
I'll get the list from him, what he thinks he needs. And I
Does he
will,
know the cost of the material?
he doesn't, but like I said, he's a master craftsman, and he was telling me too how prices gone up. He was thinking conservatively, probably in the $500 to $600 range.
Is that, sounds reasonable at the moment, but
And that's when we spoke last time, so I would imagine, given the availability of stuff, but I'm hoping he'll be able to get he's the master craftsman at the ACI, he does the prison industries, so I'm hoping he might even be able to have access to, wood and other things at cost, so I'll see him this weekend, I'll let you know.
yeah, so if he
Okay.
can get the list of materials and his estimated prices,
Okay,
that way
okay,
we
so,
can move on that. And
Right.
who knows, maybe we can reach out a few places and get some of these materials that he needs donated to this.
Yep.
So if he can come up with a list of all the components, some people may have some of this sitting around or whatever, and would donate to the project. So, yeah, okay. So Rory, you're tasked with just getting the supply list.
Yep.
can we make sure Glenn, do you feel we should try to get some, a dollar amount to these line
Um,
items?
well,
I think-
I sent something in before with a mock-up of the sign, and the price was about $500 to $600 then, so we have a kind of a
Okay,
beginning
so you have
conversation.
about, okay.
Yeah.
all right.
So Glenn should already have that.
All right,
All right. Okay, that's the sign update, task worksheet. Dennis, you've been running the task worksheet. Is there anything that we haven't covered tonight on that task worksheet that we need to address as the timing moves?
at this point in time, I would say no, I think we, pretty much what we did
Okay,
that weekend follows that format at the moment.
okay,
In fact,
All right.
once this gets done, we might be able to go to phase 2. So Roy can start making her contacts for donations.
Donations, yep.
okay, good. All right, is there anything else with this property that we need to discuss other than our action is May 2nd to do more work on?
I have one question. I'm sorry, what did we decide to do with safety waivers?
So if
For
we
this-
were gonna have outside people doing actual work, and by actual work, I don't mean like going and walking and picking up a piece of trash or something, but if they're actually, hammering, cutting or whatever, then that's where we'll need that safety waiver. So for May 2nd, we don't need them
Okay,
because we're not gonna have, we're keeping that internal.
so do we want to take this off the agenda for now?
I have a question about that. end up coming and Bob comes, would he need a safety waiver?
If he actually performs work, I would say that we need to see what we, what we did this last time was that was more of a walk. on the
Right.
town.
We'll keep Bob
I
on.
just thought of this. We went through this with Brian one time, if you remember, when we were doing Bowden property.
Mhm.
And I guess because the town was insured, he said we did not have to have waivers. But if you bring up hand tools and equipment, that, I don't know, if that brings up a different avenue or not. But when we went, we didn't use any power tools. So that might
Right.
have been why he said we didn't need it, but I'm not sure. But we did this with Brian when we did the Bowden property.
Do we have the waivers available just in case? Because I was thinking.
I
of-
don't think he ever got them because when he
No.
went, his final answer was that you don't need them.
Oh,
But, I don't know if he.
Yeah,
took
I
a
had
shortcut or
I had
not.
merely brought this up as a topic just out of curiosity if there was a waiver that existed, and I think we left it at, I don't know if it was Ed or maybe Mr. Studley that was going to go and ask the town solicitor if they had them. But
Brian
yeah,
just
I agree,
happened
right?
to,
Is it for tools? Is it for hiking? Is it for cleaning up trash? Probably not required.
I can tell you, I worked and helped work personally on the Weston Coventry School playground because my wife was on the committee and we didn't sign waivers.
Yep.
Okay,
Had tractors and other equipment and stuff, and we did not have to sign a waiver. So I
the
don't
only
know.
reference I have is what we did with Brian. That's all I know.
Right. And Brian said, so let's just leave it as this. If we start getting somebody, some other stuff, we'll revisit that. But I don't think for the work that we're doing immediately, at least that.
All right.
All right, so we're gonna leave safety waivers, but take out this date concept, or take it out
Yeah,
altogether.
just put it as another, keep it there as a thing, as just a general, and we'll follow up.
I'm just gonna leave safety waivers,
Okay.
period.
All right, good. All right, ongoing, the ongoing property management related issues, drones, cost comparison was an agenda item.
I spoke to Mark Fisher, who's the drone pilot. He's touching base with Kevin LaRose, who did the drone for us already. He hasn't given me a price yet, but he did say that Kevin will be working with him if they do any of the drone footage. So we've been playing tag as far as like what a piece of video costs. Like I don't know what that will cost yet. He doesn't know what that will cost yet either. So I did tell him that we weren't flush with cash. It was for a good cause.
right.
So I'm hoping to talk to him this week as well. And we know he does, we know he does good work. We know Kevin does good work. So those are good things.
He was a good guy. He knew what he
Yeah,
was doing.
yeah.
Yep, he knew.
Yep.
Okay, good. We'll keep that on the agenda and keep working that direction. Boundary markers and signs. Now, Gail Harding sent me an email saying that I had a list of the price or the materials, which I don't think, I think it was, we had delegated off to Ed or whatever to run to Home Depot and get the screws and the washers and the springs that go between the washers.
And could she be looking for that document that shows exactly what we
The
did?
pieces.
I sent Ed a copy of that.
Okay.
And do you want me to send Gail the same copy?
Send Gail a copy of that.
Dennis,
No.
actually, would you be able to send that to me instead?
To you, John?
Yes, because Gail and I.
That's the link I sent you today.
Okay, same link.
Same
Oh,
link.
so Ed, you have it, right?
Yes,
Okay,
I sent it to John already today.
Yeah, because I sent a copy to you and to Russell.
Correct.
Correct?
Yeah, so I'm going to take care of that, and I have tracked down the materials and based on the link that Ed sent me, and I'll get those ordered in the next day or two.
Good. That way
All
we
right,
can
so that takes
put
care
them
of
up.
that.
All right, kiosk, I don't have anything new on kiosks, at least for this meeting. Does anyone have anything on kiosks? Okay, general trail system discussions. I think we got a lot of focus on the trails that we're creating. Has anyone walked the Bowden Trail recently for to see whether we got any other? We saw some people coming out of it when we were up there, but has anyone walked over on
Not
that?
since we did that last cleanup, I think, was it in the fall, I think?
Yeah, fall. Yeah.
It might have been the fall. Jack? Jack, you still
I
there?
don't recall when it was we walked it, but
Okay. Yeah, you were always at the trail, and Joyce and I did the kiosk.
Okay.
This is probably 3-4 months ago. or
So
longer.
if anyone has any time to walk Bowden trails and then can report back, because while we're over on Heritage, we could always run over quickly and do, you know, if there's a tree down or something, we could open
Okay.
that.
If I could just add something, it was actually just today, we received an email. I believe it was for the Bowden property. Somebody had, a member of the public had walked the trail and noticed a branch or something that they thought might need cleaning up. So
Okay.
I can forward that email.
Yeah, if you could, sure, I'll
Okay.
take it.
Okay, perfect.
Yep, send it to me, John, and like I say, I'll run over there over the weekend here and get that branch out of our way or whatever. Stella Hall, we know one of the things for general cleanup, we wanted to go over there and bring out some of that trash. I think what we'll do is just keep this on the agenda, and because we're working on Janice Sullivan. GIS mapping, marketing and advertisement. Dennis, I know you had some discussion with Eric.
Eric, Ed, you still there? Ed? Well, Eric has to get a hold
I'm
of you.
here. I'm here.
Did Eric get a hold of you yet, or did you get a chance to talk to Eric?
I have not had a chance to talk to Eric yet.
Okay, but you know his email and his phone
I've got it.
number, right?
I've got it, and I will get a hold of him now that I'm moved into my new office, and
Okay.
things have changed a little bit. So I will get a hold of him.
All right. So, all right, sounds like a plan. So
Okay.
he's basically waiting. He needs your help, to be honest with you.
Okay. Next thing, issues of interest for May 26, 2021 agenda. Does anyone have anything that we haven't covered that we need to add to the agenda for the next meeting?
I don't think so.
Okay,
What?
good.
The only topics that I had, and I think we kind of discussed them here, was, you know, the process for proposing properties and kind of the timeline that it takes to acquire one. If we have like a general one, I know Dennis, you shared a couple flow charts, but is that something when we actively engage the public? Are they coming to us with properties to preserve? Again, just a kind of general question.
At this point, well, I don't know, Glenn, most of the time, they've been coming to us. We haven't branched out to look for any. They've basically been calling the office, and then we get the information and we start the process. At this point. That's correct, right, Glenn?
Yeah, that's exactly what's happened so far. I mean,
Yeah.
one of the things, Joshua, that I do every so often, and I think we discussed this a year or two ago with the is to just go online every so often and look for land for sale in Coventry, you know, and look to see if anyone's selling a piece of land that's might be something worth considering preserving. We did talk at one point about, you know, doing some GIS mapping of the town and saying, well, here's an area that's, you know, not developed. Should we approach the landowner? But that's probably not something that we're really ready or financially ready to do. So I've been, you know, I would encourage everybody to go online. I usually do it once every 2 weeks or so, and sometimes once every week, and just look for lots of land for sale that would be something of interest, especially if it's already budding or close to one of our properties that we already own. We do have other things that we've looked at, like Camp Green, that's not on the agenda here, as things that are out there that are still for sale. So we can always, you can always bring a property yourself too, to the, if you see something, say something routine there, bring it on and just add it. But as for like a public reach out, we don't have that.
Okay, yeah, and that's what kind of spurred it, right? I saw some properties on Phillips Hill that are near the Stella Hall property that are up for
Okay,
sale.
so
some lots.
What you can do is, again, if you send those particular lots and get some information on them and be ready to present, some discussion on it at the next trust meeting. I mean, obviously, we know right now land and things are hot and they're moving fast.
Well, yeah,
and
we'll
stuff.
see if they're still available in a
Yeah.
month, but yeah.
Okay, can I back up for a minute?
Yeah.
Unless I misunderstood. The next, you got the meeting as May 26th.
Yeah, it shouldn't be the 26th, right? That's a Monday,
It should be the 18th of May.
right? So,
2021 schedule, I'm looking at it right now,
May 18th.
May 18th,
Yeah.
right?
yeah, we'll correct that with Gail there. I don't know why she had May 26th. That's a Monday, I think.
The 26th is a Wednesday.
Is it Wednesday?
Look.
Oh, she copied something from. Okay. All right.
Do we agree the 18th or
Yeah, that's the
Yes.
Tuesday, right?
it's a Tuesday? Yep.
Yep.
Is
Yep,
that right?
and that's what's on our calendar of events. Yeah.
Okay.
You have the calendar I sent you, right?
Yes, it is May 18th, right here.
Okay.
Correct.
Oh, you have the same calendar I sent you, right? Yep, that's it.
Okay.
All right. So duly noted that it'll be for the May 18th, 2021 agenda. Any items that anyone? Just make sure, the biggest, easiest way is this, if you have something you want to put before the trust, just send it to Gail and she'll get it, make sure it's added to the agenda. She sends myself and she'll now start adding you, Joshua, as Dennis has been our keeper of records, is pretty good, and he's, he'll still partake in that. But for she'll send a draft version just to make sure that in case someone has approached me as chairman of anything to add to things, like Rory sent something that she wanted to put on, so then I just reach out to Gail. But so you can always send it directly to Gail, because I think anything that so far that we've all come up with, it's not like we're throwing wild things for the agenda here on there.
Sounds
All right.
good. Dennis will have to teach me the filing system.
You'll be teaching me too.
All right, with that, does anyone else have anything for tonight's meeting? Okay.
I think just the last two things that I wanted to maybe bring up for May, and I know we talked about them here, would be like a draft or kind of form letter to property owners and those who abut them, right? And I think that's something we've already kind of talked about and working on. And then, and again, maybe this is a longer term goal, but just, organization of volunteers to help support. So it's not, just this team every other weekend out there. And and again, being new, I don't know how many weekends you guys have spent out in the woods.
No, so I think you've got a great idea. That can be something that's added to the agenda. How do we interact and encourage the public to participate in some of this work? Obviously, that goes along with figuring out, liability and other stuff. But feel free to have those things, things like that added to the May agenda. And even if we don't get anything done in May, at least it's there, a bullet point for us to keep in the back of our heads. Then that's keeps us focused on that issue. Yep.
Just
Okay.
another volunteer opportunity is Earth Day, right?
Mm.
It's too soon right now, so maybe for next year. I know that people are often looking for something to do for Earth Day, and if we could advertise that we have, a cleanup
Yeah.
for Earth Day.
And that's what we should probably do after we get through Janice Sullivan in September, maybe in the fall, and we can add this for issues to put on our agenda, is just a planning calendar of things dates like that, Earth Day, National Trails Day that Rory brought to us. So that could be, building a calendar should be added to our agenda to maintain, so we don't miss these important dates that are universal for land preservation and environment improvement. So that's a good idea that, because they come up on you so quick. So just building a calendar of dates that are important
Mhm.
for us to just highlight. So we can add that.
Absolutely. Couple dates to anchor around.
Yeah.
Mhm.
All right. Anything else? With that, do I hear a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
By
Second.
Nate, seconded by Jack. Any further discussion? Roll call on motion to adjourn. Let me go back to my list. Jack Donovan,
Aye.
Dennis Green,
Aye.
Joshua Clements, Linda Brennan,
Aye.
Rory Carmody,
Aye.
Glenn Underwood, aye. The motion is passed. We are adjourned here at 8:24 PM. All
Thank
right,
you.
Sounds great.
thanks.
Thanks,
right.
everyone.
Everybody have a
Good
good
night.
week.
Good night.
Thank you.
Good night.
You too.
See
Thanks,
everybody
John
May
and Ed.
2nd.